long way to go, though.
I love to sit in on these meetings because it's amazing to me to learn about what you're trying to do to help people like me, you know.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about the BioCD, because maybe this is a good time for that. Okay.
All right.
So the BioCD, the CD part of it stands for compact disc, and so the BioCD is basically something that looks a lot like a compact disc that you put into your disc player.
Mm-hmm.
So it spins up, but instead of digital ones and zeros encoding music or data, the idea is to have lots and lots of little spots of antibodies that look for molecules in blood and in tissue samples and things like that. The advantage of the BioCD is that because it's spinning at pretty high speed, we can make, in terms of you know, we're scanning with a laser. Okay, so in terms of the laser making measurement, we literally can make 1 billion measurements in a matter of, let's say, 10 minutes. So in 10 minutes, we can actually make 1 billion measurements on a CD. So what we're trying to do is match that kind of potential. So that's sort of that's an optical mechanical potential of the CD. It's one reason why we use it so much for data storage, right?
So what do you put the CD in?
A reader.
A reader?
With a laser. And the laser has a little laser beam, and the disc spins, and the laser goes across the surface of the disc. And in the case of the BioCD, it's actually looking at spots of antibodies. And what it does is that we measure the spot height sort of before we run a sample on it. And then we run a sample on it, and that antibody is looking for specific target molecules in, ideally, serum, in blood or serum. And so what will happen is that that part of the disc will get a little bit higher. And so then when we spin it again after doing that, that laser, as it goes over that antibody spot, will notice that that part of the disc is a little bit higher. And so we're really just kind of we're kind of looking at the profile of the disc. And so where the antibody has captured something, and we know where everything is. So like in location A, there's antibody A looking for biomarker A. And so if that location got a little bit thicker after running the sample over it, then we know that that's a positive binding signal. Whereas a lot of the other antibodies may not show that thickness increment. And so the potential of the CD is that we have the ability to do 1 billion measurement in just a matter of these that we've kind of we've kind of identified that there are these 20 molecules that we think collectively could give a fingerprint for early detection. But we have to go through, we have to get antibodies for all of these, we've got to make all these antibodies work, we've got to understand how these molecule concentrations relate to the progression of the disease. So it's a long, hard project, both on the biotechnical side as well as the medical side of even understanding what these markers mean and how to use them to do prediction.
Do you get the antibodies from somebody that already has cancer or for somebody that doesn't have cancer?
Well, no, the antibodies are coming from actually companies. It's the cancer molecules that are inside the patient. And so what we have to do is have cancer patients and then also healthy patients. And you look for the difference in how these molecules bind onto the disc.
That's a really very good question, though. Is cancer is how antibodies were really discovered originally. And one of the main reagents that we use in the laboratory now are monoclonal antibodies, and that's from a cancer that's called myeloma. Basically, what it's an immune system producing our immune system produces antibodies. Those are the molecules that detect viruses and infections and foreign material that we come across. And that's how it recognizes it. And we're manipulating those antibodies in the laboratory to use them to detect things we want to look for, like cancer molecules,